Molo, Sanbonani, hello, how's it? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Vuka Nazo, your morning news analysis show. My name is Sihle Ngobese, aka Big Daddy Liberty. A firm reminder, please, that whether you're watching this on Facebook or on YouTube, please hit that like button and share the show, please. Help it reach a wider, much wider audience. That same audience, please, can then watch on YouTube and hopefully subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button and, of course, the bell notification so that you're notified every weekday from 7 a.m. when Vuka Nazo is on your screens. Guys, please support the work that we're doing here at VN. And how you do that, of course, is by going to our website and, contributing something financially towards the show. Anything between 50 to 100 Rand, 75 Rand a month is about the average that we do. You can do that, of course, as I mentioned, by visiting our website at bigdaddyliberty.com. Now, enough with the jibber jabber. Let's get straight into the news. All right, we start this Tuesday morning edition with feedback from yesterday's story. Indeed, a saga that is beginning to blow up, as it is our version of a Hollywood movie or a Hollywood mini-series, if you will, which we called, of course, Prison Break South Africa. Yes, that's right. Of course, this is the story of Thabo Bester. That's an individual who you remember back in 2012, after he had made news headlines galore, was eventually convicted of murder and rape. He was dubbed, of course, in the media as the Facebook rapist. The latest, of course, on the story is the very fact that not only now do the Correctional Services Department admit that this man has escaped. You'll remember they were quite denying this initially, saying they're still investigating the matter, even though the police themselves had already said they are investigating and are launching a manhunt on Thabo Bester. As I mentioned, the Correctional Services now finally admitting that yes, this man has escaped because the body that had been used to effectively dribble and distract, to cause a distraction for him to slip out of prison, was not that of Thabo Bester. Indeed, DNA confirmation coming through of that particular story. Now, let me just read the latest on this, of course. And again, before I do that, questions are abound here. As people are wondering, where is Thabo Bester? Where in the world is Thabo Bester? My question is, whose body was that exactly that was effectively used as the distraction, where the cell was burnt, and in that fire, this particular body was found, and burnt, of course, beyond recognition. Whose body is that? And how do you smuggle a body into a prison which presumably has surveillance cameras all over? Of course, the autopsy around this body also indicates that the individual, whoever this is, didn't die from that fire. They actually died from a blunt trauma to the head. So this is a murder. To which case, as I said, the latest on this matter is, for that particular murder, the police themselves have charged Thabo Bester, who is this escaped fugitive on the run. Let me just read from this EWN piece, which detailed the following. A case of murder is under investigation following the outcome of the DNA analysis that confirmed that the body of the deceased, which was found, was not Thabo Bester. Now, the National Police spokesperson, Linda Mate, said, she goes on to say that the autopsy report went on to further reveal that the deceased had died as a result of blunt force trauma to the head and was already dead prior to the arson incident. Now you'll know, of course, Thabo Bester is clearly now a fugitive and is on the run. The police investigation and a manhunt on the way. The last, of course, seen photo of him. The photo I shared yesterday, of course, purporting to be that of Thabo Bester, was him seen at a Santon shopping center shopping with his purported celebrity doctor, customary law wife, Unandipa Magudu Mana, of course. But there are questions abound around Thabo Bester himself. Indeed, allegations here are that even when he was in prison, he was running various scams from within prison facilities. Indeed, even living the high life within prison. Again, this comes back to the point I made yesterday. The notion that our institutions of law enforcement in this country, and even those of keeping criminals behind bars, are so easily corruptible. Let me go to this Mail and Guardian piece, which details how this convicted murderer and rapist Thabo Bester was running a multi-million rand scam business while serving his prison center in this Mangaung correctional facility. Now, this business was apparently called the 21st Century Media, to which it even hosted a conference where it purported that Bester was in New York. Very odd set of circumstances here, which begs the question, how was this any of this even possible? Now, this particular conference, I want to read this Mail and Guardian piece, as I said, which said the following. Now, attendees at this particular glitzy launch of 21st Century Media, attendees were told that the chairman of the company, A1, Tom Metsepe, which of course was another alias that Thabo Bester was using, would video call in from New York. But unbeknown to the audience, the man appearing on the big screen was actually convicted rapist and murderer Thabo Bester, speaking from prison. Now, Bester's appearance in front of a white wall wearing a suit and designer watch, a highlight of the video made at the event, contains clip of that audience singing happy birthday to Tom, lol, and the date of the conference was of course 13 June 2018, to which Thabo Bester, his birthday is also on the 13th of June, end of quote. Now let me show you that very video that we're referring to here, just to show you how much of a dangerous individual Thabo Bester is insofar as his ability to clearly easily scam people and fool people.
We hope you're not crying.
Now, here's the thing. Again, I'll conclude where I concluded yesterday, and we'll keep an eye on the story generally. It shows the dangers of having the institutions of the state that actually matter. That is, the institutions of law enforcement, the administration of justice, and indeed correctional services, the very few reasonable and legitimate functions of the state, when those are corrupted of course by the very same politicians who allegedly are involved in this matter. Indeed, correctional services spokesperson coming out and saying that in their preliminary investigation is exposing the fact that there very well could be the influence and involvement of multiple players to facilitate a breakout of prison like this one, including senior officials and even senior politicians. We'll keep an eye on that and give you updates as more information comes out. But it's that breakdown in law and order, and indeed institutions of law and order, that really characterize South Africa as a failing society. All right, in this other story, another bit of feedback after we've covered this particular matter of Vuka Forbes, better known as AKA, a famous South African rapper who was gunned down, of course, in Durban in what can only be described as a hit. Of course, that matter and that video circulating on social media, going viral, indeed shocking, sending shockwaves around the country and in the world. Well, there's a little bit of good news, I suppose, but I always say when I say this, this is the South African police we're talking about here. You know, always take the good news with a pinch of salt. But nonetheless, a breakthrough is said to have happened, with 3 men having said to have been arrested for the murder of Vuka Forbes, of course, or at least in connection with the murder. Now, this hasn't been verified by the South African Police Service, but this piece in The Independent that wrote it up said the following. According to a source close to the investigation into the rapper's killing, the suspects were arrested in Cape Town and were in police custody. They'll be brought to Durban, where they're expected to be charged. Now, this is, of course, where I said police are still cagey about confirming the matter, saying the following. Now, Western Cape Police spokesperson Colonel Andre Trout, when contacted for comment, referred questions about the arrest to the KwaZulu-Natal police. However, the spokesperson in KwaZulu-Natal, a Colonel Robert Natwinda, also would not confirm the arrest. End of quote. Now, as I said, don't get too excited, folks. This is South Africa after all, and the police have a track record at times of bungling high-profile cases. But if this is true and it is eventually confirmed, it'll be a very positive development indeed in bringing justice for Vuka Forbes, or AKA. So we'll keep an eye on this story too. All right, that's it for this episode of Vuka Nazo. Let me know what you think about the stories. Please drop a comment in the comment box whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. And also, hey, if you have suggestions on which stories you want me to cover and give analysis on, guys, do me a favor. Send that also to me in the comment section. I do read the comments. And with that being said, as you're there, hit that like button, please. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you're watching on YouTube. Now, remember, all the links to the stories that we've spoken about today are in the descriptor of this video, so make sure you check them out. And with that being said, don't forget to visit our website at bigdaddyliberty.com. Now, with that being said, I'll see you tomorrow once again, bright and early, for another episode of Vuka Nazo. We called it Prison Bake. Excuse me, Prison Bake. Hello, this is the baking show. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had like a mental image of a great British Bake Off, the Great South African Bake Off, featuring Thabo Bester. Yes.